Thanks, Lauren. Hello from London, everyone. Yeah, I mean, the future of work means not much more to me other than the brand we've given our quest to design better working lives. I don't think that's a particularly interesting definition, but it leads to an interesting question, which is, as a practitioner community, how do we do that effectively? And by effectively, I mean, what methods should we be using? How should we do that in a systematic way? And the reason I think that question is really paramount to the future of work is that if we judge ourselves on our past work, and if we say, have we done that successfully in the past? Have we designed workplace change interventions? And most importantly, evaluated them so we really understand our impact well? And I would say the answer to that is no. You know, Kate and her research team at Microsoft are by far the exception and not the rule. You know, vast amounts of organizations are doing huge amount of change work right now, really with very little empirical understanding of the impact that they're having. I think that leads me from a practitioner perspective, and I'll follow Kevin here, to my hot topic. I don't know whether it is a hot topic, but I think it should be, and it's not thematic. You know, of course we can break future of work down to all sorts of themes, from equality, from performance, work-life balance, everything that's been mentioned today. But the thing that I'm really interested in as a hot topic is process design and evaluation. Because of course, put simply, how are we going to intentionally, proactively design any sort of future of work unless, as a practitioner community, we better understand when we do something that we hope will have some impact on an outcome we care about, did it work or did it not? And I think that's going to be key. And it leads back to where business leaders are at the moment. Now, I'll start with a relatively negative insight, which is that I think over the past few years, things have certainly changed during this big disruption. But I think in the main, business leaders are still using their intuition, still using their unrepresentative experiences to make huge decisions about the way tens, hundreds of thousands of people might work within their organization. So I think that's the negative side. But I do think that they are uncomfortable about that. And I do agree with Kevin that there has been this kind of boom in, let's say, curiosity, and also an acknowledgement that leaders and their consultants and their advisors might not actually have all the answers. So there is, as we speak now, a kind of openness to new approaches, as well, of course, as there being a boom in the data that we can collect on people because so many of us are working digitally. So I think that is a unique opportunity that we haven't had in the past, and I think we should take it. Again, this is anecdotal experience at More Than Now, my organization. We do something relatively unique in that we're only running randomized controlled trials within large organizations. That's not something they're familiar with, but we've seen more openness to that in recent years. And more importantly, we've seen more openness to academic collaboration as a way to add credibility. And that gets to this dual objective that I'm most excited about, which is the ability for academics to solve organizational problems on the front line, and also do so in a way where they can go back and share what they've learned with the scientific community, so we get some sort of collective enterprise out of it. And for me, that really does boil down to the opportunities and risks. You know, I don't want to be flippant about it, but the future of work can really mean anything you like. You know, you can have any aspiration, any vision for it, and that will change, of course, from person to person and from organization to organization. And we should be very thankful for that. You know, that diversity is amazing. But whatever you want for it, unless we can really determine whether the things we do are having an impact on the outcome we wanted, then we're never really going to get anywhere. And I think the best people who are able to do that are scientists and the academic community. So I agree with Kevin's push to you to go out into organizations, but I would also say to organizations, they need your tools and processes. They just might not understand it yet. And what I often see when organizations do connect with academics is that they want answers. They'll say to you, tell us about this theme, tell us what we should do. And what I don't see enough is academics going back and saying, we don't know yet. Let me teach you, let me show you why process is important, and really pushing the methods as an area of expertise that you have, because I think that's what organizations really need at the moment. And if we are unable to do that, if we're unable to better learn from what we do, then I think the future of work will be us crossing our fingers and hoping things get better. And if we're really going to get intentional about it, then I think the idea of how organizations let me say, operationalize empirical research and make it part of their day-to-day is going to be paramount.